I really love to see at least some faces. That's very good. And I know that you're all keen to have a nice Long Island iced tea. I know that, or a nice pina colada, or whatever. I count on you, just let you know. So don't come to me and say, that you have an alcohol beer free or something like that. No, you can. Everything is okay. So for the next, let's say 10 to 15 minutes, I only would like to give you a very, very sneak view what really TIS means. Because I would like to say it's really nearly endless things. You can play everything with TIS, okay? And followed by that, we have a very short panel discussion, so really short, but what's important in the panel is we want you to raise questions. That's very important, otherwise we will raise questions to you. That's also something what we do, so just let you know. Okay, what is data really? What does TAPA really means? What does really TIS means? So just to let you know, we already collect data for nearly 20 years, okay? For nearly 20 years. It started as a normal web application, and now it's a 100% database. All the data is stored in Europe. There's a reason for that. It's called GDPR. It's the data protection requirements within the EU. And that's the reason why all the data is stored within the EU, to also ensure that we are really compliant with all the regulations we need to fulfill. In reality, it's more than 155,000 incidents stored in this database. As I already said, Europol is using our database because it's the best data they have. Within the Europol database, you will find approximately 4,000 incidents on cargo crime. So that's the incident database for Europol. Of course, they have more detailed data. They also know exactly, for example, what kind of brand it is, what kind of logistic service provider it is, and so on. But that's not important for us. I'm a very virtual-driven person, but I will tell you that if you look at the Data Explorer, for example, within the Data Explorer, you will find all incidents. So now you can filter, you can search, you can download, you can create your own files, you can say I'm only interested in hijacks and whatever. It's completely up to you. So it's, as I said, that's the reason why I'm saying it, it's nearly endless, kind of opportunities. It's like when you go to a huge Excel file, you can do whatever you want. So it's very important that you can play with the data like whatever you want to play with the data. You can say, show me only PSR locations, show me only locations in South Africa, show me only locations in Italy. Again, data. It's data, data, data. So you can also jump immediately to the Cargo Crime Monitor. The Cargo Crime Monitor is giving you an overview on the latest data. It's all the data combined, except you filter the data. At the second you filter the data, it will show you a different picture, of course. Now it's all data, but when you say, for example, show me only data in South Africa, you will only see data in South Africa. But you can also say, no, show me this, and this country. You can also say, show me only EMEA, show me only the European Commission, or the European Union, which will show you then 27 member states. So what is important also here is it will show you immediately the product categories, what is behind it, while fuel theft is number one. But what is also important, if you go to the comparison tab, for example, it will show you, and that's really quite important, it will show you, what is the total value, how much percentage of incidents reported a value. But what is for us super important is it will show you immediately how many actual number of certified FSR locations we have. And now you will say, wait a minute, Thorsten said 1,100 in EMEA. Now we come to the good news. All the data is EMEA and APAC. Yes, we are a global association, but Americas is not part of this solution so far. Okay, but as an EMEA member or a TAPA Africa member, you have access to all data. So just to let you know, it's very important. So you see data, for example, also what's going on in India or in Singapore or Malaysia. So that's really quite important, or China. So what is also important is you look right now at the data globally. So we have losses also reported in the Americas, but we don't have, for example, certification numbers. And you can see everything here. Okay, so again, it's a huge system, and we have a specific training on the system which will take really quite long. And if you look at our trainings, TIS is part of it. But what is important, we can also see, for example, from an FSR and TSR point of view, how many certifications actually are TAPA A, FSR A, which is the highest level. Okay, so you can agree on the TAPA A. You still agree on the minimum requirements. but you can see that it's 1,152 in EMEA and APAC, which means on a month-on-month perspective, it's 26 more than last month. It's 6 more than last year, and so on. So comparison is very important for us, to see in which direction we are going to. Some stuff is not updated because some data is not older than 1 month or 2 months. So which means at the end of the day, you cannot have a yearly comparison. APAC joined us on the 1st of January 2024. So it's brand new data. Everything's brand new from APAC. And it's the same like if you go, for example, how many trucks we have on the road. We have for security level A, for trucks, we have nearly 12,000 trucks on the road. Which is a big number. And it's the same like PSR locations. But as I told you, I'm a very visual-driven person, so which means for me, the most important, the most interesting solution is really our mapping, And if you say now, okay, let's fly very quickly to the African continent, and let's say, okay, that's Africa, and let's start easy, let's make it easy, Let's say, okay, for example, okay, where do we have FSR locations in Africa? Of course I can filter now, but I'm saying now you can see it, it's easier. So now you can fly in and can say, okay, what do I have actually, what kind of certifications do I have in Namibia? And then you click on it and you see it's DHL. It's DHL Express Namibia. That's a security level A. If you would like to have more details, you get more details. You know exactly it's Windhoek, the street, it's a multi-site, it's a security level. We have all the contact details, the person and everything, but it's not in there right now, because you need to have the permission from every single person due to GDPR regulations, which is not easy. That's the reason why we said if you want it, contact us, we give it to you. That's easier. But if you do it on a public way, it's not as easy. You can also say, okay, you can download everything. You know that. It's a database. Of course, you can play with it. We have an API. We have a special MOU. If you say, for example, I would like to download all the data with an API, we can provide you an API, but then you need to sign an MOU, because then you have access to a ton of data. It's also quite important that we have different databases. We have a so-called public database and we have a hidden database. The public database is showing you everything what you see right now. The hidden database is very specific data we are not really willing to show. As I told you already, a good example is our friends from Volkswagen. In the public database, you see the total numbers, but you don't see it's Wolfsburg. In the hidden database, I see it's Wolfsburg, but you will never see that. It's the same like with BASF, or with Bayer. Bayer, very easy. When it happens in Leverkusen, it's Bayer. When it's Tilburg in the Netherlands, it's either Sony PlayStation or it's Microsoft Xbox. So if you know the industry, you know what's going on. And that's the reason why it's not important for us. Because it's really not important. For us, it's important, where can I find a partner to store my products on the most secure way? And this is the solution. It's showing you immediately where it is. Where do I find a partner to show me where do I have a TSR certified company? And I specifically start with Africa right now. And if you go, for example, now, and I switch on the incidents for the last 18 months, we recorded only in this area, you will see that we have data from nearly every country in Africa. And it's really not easy, So as I told you, we have a lot of web crawler technology. Now you can zoom in, you can say, okay, what kind of data is it? What does it mean? What is really the incident, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of stuff is unknown, But if I can filter that also. I can also do a route risk analysis, for example. So let's go to an area where we already collect data for nearly 20 years, okay? So I'm now zooming in a little bit to Europe. And you will see, when I'm now switching on FSR locations, for example, it's very easy to find a certified warehouse in Europe. And of course, if I click now on 1A here, it's again the yellow dragon, I don't know how this happened now, okay? Let's try a C now. Oh, Godverdorie. No. So, you owe me the beer. Remember that, Alida. So that's really quite important. But what I would like to show you is you have everything there. And now you say, for example, okay, show me a similar thing with TSR locations. And you will find the same stuff. And now, show me parking spaces. But now we come to the most important thing. Okay, what's going on with incidents? That's the last 18 months. 18 months. That's recorded incidents in Europe. Where are the Benelux? Where's Germany? Is this a situation in Belarus? No, it's not, but we don't get data from Belarus. And that's really quite important, but what you can do now, and that's data analytics. If you are a logistics service provider, or if you are a manufacturer, and if you say, for example, your Incoterm is X works, what we learned from Björn today, it's a different story compared to when your Incoterm is cost insurance paid, for example. Now it's up to you to write and do the right route risk analysis. So you say, for example, okay, I'm now zooming in, and specifically, I will switch off, again, my incidents, but I'm really interested in now in the route from Rotterdam, because it's a huge harbor. Rotterdam is one of the biggest harbors in Europe, so a lot of cargo is coming to Rotterdam. And then I'm going, okay, I would like to go to Berlin. So the system is showing you now the route, and it's saying, okay, from Rotterdam to Berlin, this is the best route right now, okay? That's how easy it is. You can go for hybrid. You can say, okay, so show me the traffic layer. So you can say, actually, this is a live data from Google. So more than I think it's more than 25 million cars driving right now, and you know exactly, okay, where do I have traffic? What's going on right now for this route? And now you can say, for example, in the area of Magdeburg, it looks very bad. It's red. But now you can say, okay, beside really everything what is there, show me the PSR locations I could park while it's my route. And then you look at the driver regulations. So just to let you know, a driver in Europe is allowed to drive 8 hours, and then he needs to have a break at least for 4 hours, and then he's allowed to drive 4 hours. So it's not like in South Africa where you can drive 2 weeks with a bottle of Red Bull and vodka. This is not allowed in Europe, by the way. Okay? It's very important. It's not allowed here, I know, but you still do it. So, jokes beside. But you know what I mean. And that's very important. It's giving you the visibility you need for your day job. And it's also giving you the visibility to say, okay, now do me a favor, show me all the incidents in my route or what's going on there. But then you say, okay, that doesn't make any sense because I need to filter it. And then you say, from an incident point of view, I'm only interested in, in the modus operandi, for example, of say, okay, I have a lot of challenges, with like theft from a moving vehicle. And of course, as you can see, you can filter everything. You can say, okay, show me only automotive, show me only food, show me only, luxury items, whatever you want. And then you say, okay, apply the filter. Then you apply to the filter, and it's a completely different story already. Okay, now you can say, okay, what else can we do? Then you say, okay, forget this filter. So apply the filter again, but then you're going back. Now they will come when the network is good, hopefully. Yeah, there it is. And then you say, for example, okay, show me a heat map. Show me actually where the losses occur. And then you see again that the route is a pretty cool route. Except this little one at Braunschweig and, Wolfsburg again. What the heck are you doing in Wolfsburg? You create nice cars, I know. But you can also see it's Dortmund, or it's Duisburg. And there are reasons for that. And if you know the industry, and if you zoom in now, you will see it's breaking down again. Because it's the data which is changing it. And if you say, for example, I'm not going from Rotterdam, I'm going from Schiphol, you will see it's red. And that's really quite important to understand that. You can now set for example, your own bookmark. You can say, okay, I'm interested in, because this is my route, and I'm only interested in entries which are really 10 miles away from this area, of 10 kilometers away. And then you say, okay, and I'm interested in to go only into the direction of show me all the data which are really near the route. And you can download all the data. You can take a look, because your routes are normally, unfortunately, stable. You have your warehouses. If you look at again, so it's very easy if you say, you know what, let's go for a specific example. And you say, okay, here you can see the FSR locations now nearby the route. And you see now, you don't see all the other data anymore. Because it's only showing you data, which is in the radius of 5 kilometers against your route. And you can say, okay, now show me also PSR, and now show me also TSR. And now you see the picture is completely different. It's not over-wasted anymore. And that's really quite important to understand that. So it's a lot of opportunities to make your life easier. Why I show you Europe, of course you can say now the same, okay, now you can see it's a little bit different, okay, if you look at the heat map. So now you see what's going on in Europe. You know, you see really, of course, it's always around major airports. It's always where you see all the big logistics hubs. You know, Italy is Milano. It's very easy. Everything is Milano. The Netherlands, it's Schiphol. Everything is Schiphol. You know, of course, Tilburg, but everything is Schiphol. And it's always where the borders are. Why it is like that? We don't have border controls anymore in the EU, you know, except, okay, in the EU. UK is not part of the EU, you know, so, but we don't have border controls. But we still have police which are not allowed to go from one country to the other country. Criminals are allowed to go from one country to the other country without border controls. So that's how easy it is. So what are they doing, the criminals? They steal something in the Netherlands and they drive to Germany. And they stop directly behind the border, and that's it. You know, okay, they're not doing like this. You know, they disappear as soon as they can. You know, but they do the same in Portugal. They steal something in Portugal and they go to Spain. That's how easy it is, because the Portuguese police is not allowed to go without a permission to Spain. And of course, you have the same challenges in Africa. You have a lot of countries in Africa. And I strongly believe that a South African police officer is not allowed to cross the border. You know, so that's really quite important. But you still have border controls in some areas, not in all areas. You know, but we have exactly the same situation, and that's really quite important to understand that. And if you look at the data, and that's really super important on the data, it's really, you can also play with it. You can say, no, I don't want this route. You know, show me another route. And as you have seen right now, I was only really say, okay, I don't go there anymore. I go there now. You know, that's how easy it is, and the system will immediately adjust. So that's quite important to understand that. And as I mentioned already, you know, if you go, for example, now to Africa again, and if you go and say, okay, so it's very easy. You know, where's the highest risk in South Africa? Surprise, surprise. No, it's not, and we all know that. You know, but that's really quite interesting. And of course, now you can say, okay, yeah, I need to reset all the filters now, you know, but as you can imagine, it's a very, very, very powerful tool. But what I like also is really the cargo crime monitor, because of course it's giving you an overview within seconds what's going on from a number point of view. And what is important with your senior management, you know, and you know how senior managers are, you know, Björn mentioned that quite often. So when I present it to my former senior management or whatever, I only show the big numbers, because they are not interested in the details. They don't care. You know, a CFO is interested in two numbers. What do I spend? What do I get? Period. That's it. He doesn't care if you have 10 guards, 20 guards, you know, a guarding escort company. For him it's important, what do I spend? What do I get? Period. Do I make money? Do I lose money? Are you a cost center? Are you a profit center? That's it. You know, what is my revenue? What is my profit? What is my, at the end, of course, also, we heard it already before, what is my ROI? What is my return of investment? And this is the most important thing. So reporting, also within my former companies, but now, what is the most important thing? Do we lose money or do we make money out of it? As a non-profit industry association, it's very easy. We are not allowed to make a profit because we are a non-profit industry association, but we are not losing money. That's always important. You know, so what is the benefit? How much money we spend, how much money we get. And that's for you super important. You know, and this is a tool which can give you a lot of guidance and can say, we are doing better than the industry, by the way. Because you can say, I'm not losing as much as my competitor is losing. You know, I'm doing better than my competition, because it's called loss avoidance. And you can calculate that. As I said, some statistics, it's great when you're number one. Some statistics, it's a freaking nightmare when you're the number one. And that's really quite important to understand that, okay? As we already said, we would like to squeeze everything a little bit. We would like to really give you only a very quick update. Do you have questions on TIS? Oh, by the way, TIS Access is included in the membership. That's very important. Okay, if you are a member, you have free TIS Access. There's a public version. But as you can imagine, the public version is giving you approximately 10% of the functionality, and it's not giving you all the data. Because we need to protect our assets. And the data is actually coming from members for members. So all the data is members' data. Okay? There's a question.
It's just a very quick question. You made mention to the guidance documents. I think that you spoke about it earlier. Is that on this platform, or would we?
No, the guidance documents are on the web page. So if you go to the web page, you have a specific area, which is the members login. And then you can say, for example, also in the standards section, you can say, okay, here are all the standards, here are all the facility security requirements and everything. And if you go to the members section, then you find the documents. So I can log in now to my TAPA. This is another benefit if you're a member. You can see, for example, all the members. You can say, okay, who's my counterpart within DHL? And you will find Alida, or you will find Nico de Kroof, so all the people. You will find your counterpart within Porsche, Florian Hake, or Mercedes, Andreas Osterning, or Tesla now. Tesla is also a member. And then you can see, okay, here's my trainings, here are my member details, here's my secured member downloads. And my secured member downloads, here you can see everything, here are the outer templates, here's the latest cargo theft report. It's a huge report, I can show you, it's really big, Here you can see all the presentations in detail, and everything is located here. So you can say now, for example, okay, show me the outer templates, show me the 18 months cargo crime report, show me the guidance documents on locking, on CCTV, on all the documents we have. That's really quite important. So there's a lot of documents you can find as a member. There's a lot of documents you can find also as a non-member, but then it's always watermarked, or it's saying it's not the entire report. So the 18 months cargo crime report, for example, and the new one will come pretty soon. It's covering, 74 pages. And there's also somewhere a specific report on South Africa. So everything is there, and that's the website. And if you go to the special area within the website, you will find a lot of insights, a lot of stuff. As I said, Vigilant, it's free. Okay, it's a marketing thing, it's good for us. We say, read the Vigilant. Even as a non-member, you can find a lot of updates within the Vigilant. You can find the latest data, you can find the latest stuff, what we are doing, and it's a very interactive one. So for example, when we leave here, the next Vigilant edition will show you videos from this conference. It will show you also, what are the results, what's going on here, register now, and you see the lion again. So everything is online, So that's one of the biggest goals for me, coming from tech companies. I'm a geek, I love technology. I have 9 Alexas at home. I have 1 remote control for my entire house. My wife is having 6 remote control. She loves 6, I have 1. I love technology. When something is new, trust me, I play with it. I have it. My wife hates me for that. I think we have 3 Xboxes at home or something like that, but I have 3 kids. So now you can imagine, I have a boy, a devil, and a terrorist. So we have a lot of technology. So it's very important. Okay, any other questions? Okay, we will hand out the multiple choice test after the next panel. No, just kidding. If there are no more questions, I would like to ask really our panelists to come on stage. Alida, can I ask you please to come on stage? Nico, where's Nico? Oh, there. Up, Björn.